From selling roadies in a small village shop to leading an entire nation not once but twice, this woman rewrote Caribbean history. Born on April 22, 1952 in the tiny rural village of Siparia in southern Trinidad, Kamla Persad came into a world that didn't expect much from girls like her. Her father, Lil Raj, worked as a bookkeeper at Texaco, while her mother, Rita, worked as a maid, labored in cocoa fields, and ran a small roti shop just to make ends meet. They lived in a joint family home with her grandparents, brother, and 3 sisters. Money was tight and opportunities were few. But young Kamla had something different burning inside her. She loved reading novels and was fascinated by technology, unusual interests for a girl from such humble beginnings. Her family traced their roots back to the 1880s when her ancestors came from India as indentured laborers. These were people who signed contracts to work on plantations for years, basically trapped in a system that kept them poor. Her maternal great-grandmother Sumaria came from Chennai in India and worked in sugarcane and cocoa fields. These hardworking women and men built lives from nothing, passing down values of strength and determination to their children and grandchildren. Kamla started school at Mohes Road Hindu School in Debi. When she was 7, her family moved to Siparia, where she attended Erin Road Presbyterian Primary School. In 1963, she got accepted to IRA High School, a brand new school at the time. She wasn't just a good student. She was exceptional. She excelled at debates, played champion badminton and netball, and was so smart they put her in special classes to take advanced exams. She graduated in 1969 with flying colors. At 16, Kamla wanted to go to England for higher studies. Her traditional father and uncles said absolutely not. Girls should stay home, they insisted. But her mother, Rita, who knew what it meant to be limited by circumstances, fought for her daughter. She convinced the men to let Kamla go. In August 1969, 17-year-old Kamla left Trinidad for London, enrolling at Norwood Technical College. While studying in England, she worked as a social worker with the Church of England Children's Society, helping vulnerable kids. By this time, she had already met a young man named Gregory Bissessar. They fell in love and married in 1971 when she was just 18 and he was 22. 2 years later, Kamla and Gregory moved to Jamaica, where they would spend the next 14 years building their life together. In Jamaica, Kamla attended the University of the West Indies at Mona campus. She earned her Bachelor of Arts with honors in 1974, followed by a postgraduate diploma in education in 1976. She began teaching at St. Andrew High School in Kingston. Her brilliance was obvious to everyone. At just 25 years old, she became one of the youngest lecturers ever hired at the University of the West Indies. She also worked as a consultant lecturer at Jamaica College of Insurance. She was building a solid career in education, making decent money, and living a comfortable life. But Kamla wanted more. She was offered a prestigious Fulbright scholarship to pursue research at Columbia University in New York. Most people would have jumped at that opportunity. Instead, Kamla made a surprising choice. She decided to study law. While studying law at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus in Barbados, she gave birth to her son, Chris. Balancing motherhood with law school is incredibly difficult, but she did it. She graduated with her Bachelor of Laws with honors in 1985. 2 years later, she graduated from Hugh Wooding Law School in Trinidad with her legal education certificate, finishing at the top of her class. Now armed with a law degree and returning to Trinidad after nearly 2 decades abroad, Kamla entered a new phase of her life. She worked briefly in chambers before starting her own practice in 1988. That same year, 1987, she made her first move into politics as an alderman, serving until 1991. Politics wasn't easy for a woman in Trinidad during the late 80s and early 90s. The country's politics were dominated by men and deeply divided along racial lines. In November 1994, she was appointed as an opposition senator. The following year, 1995, she ran for parliament representing Siparia, the same rural constituency where she was born. She won. At 43 years old, Kamla became the Member of Parliament for Siparia, a seat she has held continuously for 30 years. Her rise was meteoric. Just months after winning her seat on November 9, 1995, she was sworn in as Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago. She was the first woman in the country's history to hold that position. Though she only served briefly in that role before being appointed Minister of Legal Affairs in February 1996, the precedent was set. She was breaking barriers left and right. As Minister of Legal Affairs from 1996 to 1999, Kamla got things done. She increased the number of judges and magistrates to speed up the courts. She established a family court to handle domestic issues more sensitively. She updated old laws and pushed for modernization of the legal system. In October 1999, she was appointed Minister of Education. This was where she really shined. Education had always been her passion. During her time as Minister of Education, she created a program of universal secondary education throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Before her reforms, not every child could attend high school. She built 32 new schools across the nation. She changed the standardized entrance exam to make it more modern and fair. She wanted every child, regardless of background, to have the same opportunities she fought so hard to get. Throughout the 2000s, Kamla remained a powerful voice in Parliament and in her party. In 2002, her party lost the election and returned to opposition. On April 26, 2006, Kamla was appointed Leader of the Opposition, the first woman ever to hold that position in Trinidad and Tobago. She was making history again. She was tough, articulate, and unafraid to challenge the government. In 2006, she also went back to school, earning an executive master's in business administration. She never stopped learning, never stopped improving herself. On January 24, 2010, everything changed. Kamla ran for political leader of the United National Congress against the party's founder, former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday. Panday was a giant in politics, a legendary figure. Many thought it was impossible for anyone to beat him, especially a woman. But Kamla won. The victory was huge. Then came the general election of May 24, 2010. Kamla led the People's Partnership, a coalition of 3 political parties. She ran a brilliant campaign. Her message was simple: unity over division, progress for all people regardless of race or background, female leadership bringing compassion and strength. She defeated the incumbent government. On May 26, 2010, Kamla Persad-Bissessar was sworn in as the 6th Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. She was the first woman in the nation's history to hold that office. The entire Caribbean celebrated. Time magazine named her the 13th most influential female leader around the world in 2011. She also became the first female Commonwealth chairperson in office, leading the Commonwealth of Nations from May 26, 2010 until October 28, 2011. She served as chairwoman of the Caribbean Community from July 1, 2013 until December 31, 2013. Her first term as Prime Minister from 2010 to 2015 was filled with ambitious programs. She created the Children's Life Fund to help kids with serious medical conditions get treatment. She advanced universal secondary education so every child could go to high school. She formed the secondary entrance assessment exam to replace the old unfair testing system. She provided laptops for every student to bridge the digital divide. She expanded access to higher learning in universities. She focused on crime reduction in a country struggling with violence. She pushed for economic diversification so Trinidad wouldn't depend only on oil and gas. She championed social welfare programs to lift up the poor. But politics in Trinidad is brutal. In September 2015, her People's Partnership coalition lost the general election. Her coalition got 18 seats while the opposing party won 23. On September 21, 2015, she was appointed Leader of the Opposition. She didn't quit. She didn't retire. She regrouped. For the next 10 years, Kamla served as Leader of the Opposition, holding the government accountable, proposing alternative policies, and staying connected to the people. In the 2020 election, her party picked up 2 more seats. She was building momentum. After 15 years leading her party through ups and downs, victories and defeats, Kamla prepared for one more fight. In early 2025, she announced she would lead her coalition into the general elections scheduled for April 28th. The country was suffering. Trinidad and Tobago had experienced its deadliest year in modern history, with a homicide rate of 45.7 per 100,000 people. Gang violence was out of control. Natural gas production was declining, hurting the economy. More than half the population lived in poverty, despite the country having huge oil reserves offshore. People felt abandoned by the government. Kamla campaigned on three main promises. First, security. She would make the country safe again by reforming police, investing in crime prevention, and taking back neighborhoods from gangs. Second, economic revival. She would increase public sector salaries, protect pensions, reopen the state oil company which had been shut down, and renegotiate oil deals with foreign companies to get Trinidad a better share of profits. Third, unity and equality. She would be a prime minister for all people, not just one race or one region. She traveled to every corner of the islands, listening to ordinary citizens, promising them a better future. On April 28, 2025, voters went to the polls. When the results came in, it was a landslide. Her coalition won an estimated 26 out of 41 seats in parliament. The opposing party was crushed. On May 1, 2025, 3 days after her historic victory, 73-year-old Kamla Persad-Bissessar was sworn in as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago for the second time. She became only the second Prime Minister in the country's history to serve non-consecutive terms. At her swearing-in ceremony, Kamla gave an emotional speech. She said, "You've had Prime Ministers before me, and you will have Prime Ministers after me, but you will never have a Prime Minister who loves you as much as I do." She promised to create wealth that would benefit 7 generations into the future. She vowed to turn the page on a government that had forgotten its citizens. The United States State Department issued a statement congratulating her and expressing eagerness to work together on energy security, economic prosperity, and fighting crime. The Caribbean community also congratulated her on the peaceful democratic exercise. But her second term has not been easy. Just months into office, tensions exploded with neighboring Venezuela. In October 2025, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro declared Kamla persona non grata, meaning she was banned from entering Venezuela. Her response was classic Kamla. She said, "Why would they think I would want to go to Venezuela?" She wasn't backing down from anyone, not even a hostile neighboring country. In September 2025, Kamla attended the Caribbean Global Awards ceremony held in London. She couldn't be there in person because she was in New York attending the United Nations General Assembly, representing Trinidad and Tobago on the world stage. At the awards, she won the People's Choice Leader Award, beating out major Caribbean leaders including Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, Jamaica's Andrew Holness, and Guyana's President Mohamed Irfan Ali. The award was determined by public vote, showing her popularity across the Caribbean. In her video acceptance speech from New York, she reflected on her journey. She said, "I was born in colonial Trinidad, into a poor family in the rural village of Siparia. My late mother Rita sold roti to support our family while my father Lalraj worked as a bookkeeper. From those humble beginnings to becoming the first woman Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, I learned that leadership is not a privilege, but a duty to serve." She credited her mother, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers for paving the way. Now at 73 years old, Kamla Persad-Bissessar remains one of the most powerful women in the Caribbean. She is still married to Dr. Gregory Bissessar after over 50 years together. They have one son named Chris and 2 grandchildren, including a grandson named Cristiano. She and Gregory live in Philippines in the Penal Bay region, not far from where she was born. Despite all her achievements and power, she has stayed grounded. She has described herself as an adherent of both Hinduism and the spiritual Baptist faith, reflecting her spiritual perspective. After her brother died in a car accident, she raised his children as her own, showing her deep family commitment. Her estimated net worth is around $5 million, accumulated through her career as a lawyer and politician. She doesn't flaunt wealth or live extravagantly. Her focus has always been public service, not personal enrichment. Her legacy in Trinidad and Tobago is already secured. She is the first woman to serve as Attorney General, the first woman to serve as Minister of Education, the first woman Leader of the Opposition, the first woman Prime Minister, the first woman to chair the Commonwealth of Nations. the first woman of Indian descent to be Prime Minister of a country outside India and South Asia. She has shattered every glass ceiling that existed for women in her country. But beyond the historic firsts, Kamla's real legacy is the change she has brought to people's lives. The 32 schools she built gave thousands of children access to education. The laptops she distributed gave poor students the tools to succeed in a digital world. The family courts she established gave women and children better protection from domestic violence. The universal secondary education program she championed opened doors for an entire generation. The Children's Life Fund she created saved lives of sick kids whose families couldn't afford treatment. In a region where women are often sidelined, where politics is still dominated by men, where poverty and violence keep people trapped, Kamla Persad-Bissessar represents hope. She proves that background doesn't determine destiny, that a girl from a poor village can lead a nation, that women belong at the highest levels of power. As she governs Trinidad and Tobago in her second term, she faces massive challenges. Crime is still the #1 issue, with murders happening almost daily. The economy needs diversification away from dependence on oil and gas, which won't last forever. Young people need jobs and opportunities. Infrastructure needs investment. Healthcare and education need improvement. Relations with Venezuela remain tense, and Trinidad must navigate a changing global order where small nations can easily get caught between big powers. Kamla has said her priority is security first. Without safety, nothing else matters. She plans to reform the police, increase patrols, crack down on gangs, and take back neighborhoods from criminals. She also wants to fast-track development of new natural gas fields through tax breaks to boost energy production. She wants to invest heavily in renewable energy, positioning Trinidad as a leader in green hydrogen, wind power, and solar energy for the Caribbean. She wants to strengthen ties with the United States, seeing it as a crucial partner for security and investment. At 73, Kamla shows no signs of slowing down. She works long hours, attends parliament sessions, meets with foreign leaders, visits communities across the islands, and speaks at international forums. Her energy and dedication remain impressive. She has said this term is about creating wealth and opportunities, not just for the next 5 years, but for 7 generations into the future. Her supporters see her as a champion of the people, someone who truly cares and fights for ordinary citizens. Her critics accuse her of being too political, of making promises she can't keep. But even critics acknowledge her intelligence, her work ethic, and her historic significance. Whether you agree with her politics or not, nobody can deny what has achieved. From a roadie shop in Siparia to the Prime Minister's office twice. From a girl whose father didn't want her to leave Trinidad to a woman who has represented her country at the United Nations, the Commonwealth, and CARICOM. From a student who had to fight for every opportunity to a leader who opened doors for millions of others. That is the story of resilience, determination, and the power of education. Kamla Persad-Bissessar's journey reminds us that leadership can come from anywhere, that women deserve equal opportunities in every field, including politics. That education is the great equalizer. That public service is about helping people, not enriching yourself. That diversity makes nations stronger, not weaker. And that no matter where you start in life, hard work and vision can take you to the top. As Trinidad and Tobago moves forward under her leadership, the world is watching. Can she reduce the violence? Can she revive the economy? Can she heal the divisions? Can she position the country for long-term prosperity? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, Kamla Persad-Bissessar has already earned her place in history. The little girl from Siparia, who loved reading novels and dreamed of a bigger world, grew up to lead that world. And she's not done yet. So will Kamla's second term be even more successful than her first? Will she finally solve Trinidad's crime crisis? Drop your thoughts below and subscribe for more inspiring stories of leaders who changed history.